is Bill Clinton, and thank you for having me on your interview for your school project. I live here in Tempe. I work at the Phoenix Police Department. I'm in my 30th year. And 18 years ago, when I was outside the police department, I was in the middle of a project that I happened to see a B-17 bomber fly overhead, and that was a Mesa. And the B-17 bomber is a World War II bomber that I knew about, but I'd never seen one fly before. And I thought that was the highlight of my day, and that was on a Saturday morning. And later on, during that same day, a senior saw me, and with my name being Bill Clinton, he called me out, and we had a little chat, and it turned out he had a problem that he wanted to show me. And as I got into his home, I noticed that on his I met this gentleman. I noticed that in his condominium were a bunch of pictures of B-17 bombers that had the guys sitting on the wings with their names below. So I pointed out to this gentleman that I had seen that B-17 bomber earlier in the day, and he told me he turned out he was a mechanic on B-17s during World War II, and that plane that I saw, him and his buddies had worked on that very morning. And that evening, they had a hangar dance out of Falcon Field planned, and he invited me to go. So when I arrived at that Falcon Field hangar later on that evening, I saw the B-17 I saw flying in the morning earlier, and I happened to watch 1,500 people out there dressed in World War II outfits, many of them who were World War II veterans, a big band playing music, and I saw a USO show. All this for the first time in my life, and it hooked me. I was just absolutely in love with what I saw. Music, the dance, the people, the camaraderie. So I had to learn how to dance because I didn't even know how to dance at that point. And that was March of 1997. As I moved forward, I learned how to dance in early 1998. By mid-1998, I started teaching my daughter, who was then 7, how to dance, and I started doing swing dance exhibitions for the studio and then also for some senior homes that invited us out. And then I decided to recreate that hangar dance that I saw in '97 and recruited a bunch of kids from people that I work with at the police department. So by the time I was done with that process, we had our first show on December of 1999. And by the end of this past month, we have had 806 shows. And during that journey, we've had kids from all walks of life, people who never danced before, kids who never sang before, and many of whom were talented and had done those things prior, all connect and join into the only traveling hangar dance show in America. And they're local kids from the Valley of the Sun that have gone out to the senior communities and brought back that feeling I had that night in the hangar dance to so many people who can no longer get out to do those types of things anymore. They go to the veterans groups, they go to the Veterans Hospital, and they bring back a bygone era through the music and dance that is a great communication tool to reach people of prior generations. Because when the swing kids who come from ages kindergarten up through high school bring back the music that those people who are now in their 90s remember when they were kids, it's like opening up a time machine. And then we teach all the kids how to do the music and dance, and then they redo that for the seniors. So they watch a big band dance with swing dance, ballroom dance, the songs, and then of course the swing kids interact with the audience and they get them to dance. Many of them aren't able to stand anymore, so the kids know how to dance with them by holding their hand. It's like a community spirit program that's allowed kids from all walks of life be able to do something better for themselves, better for the community, and in turn all the seniors and veterans and people of all ages really have come out to support the swing kids to continue on. It's a program that is all volunteer. We have no funding except those who donate at the shows, and that's enough to put outfits on all the kids' backs and allow them to go to McDonald's after show so they can connect. Or we'll have the young kids playing in the playgrounds, and a middle school and high school kids sitting at the same table and texting each other. So it's a lot of fun. For a variety of reasons, the program has reached people of all ages. When I talk to kids who, why do they join with something that appealed to them, some of them like the swing dance, some of them like the sound equipment and want to learn how to set up. And I think about all the kids that have come and gone that turned into amazing dancers or performers that have gone on through the local colleges or universities in Arizona and abroad. And I think the common thing that makes a kid want to become a swing kid is whatever is important to them, and that purpose being something they could connect with our program brought them to us. So if they love to dance, this is a great outlet. If they just wanted to have new friends and meet new people, this was a great outlet. There's years ago I got a letter from a kid who joined in 2001 who spent about close to a year with us, and she did all the shows that she could. And I wound up looking back, not realizing as I was picking her up at different locations along the route, because we had a 15-seat van and I'd pick up the kids, that she was at a different place almost every time. Well, she sent me an email years later telling me the rest of the story. And she happened to be living out of group homes at that time because she didn't have a good family situation going on, and there was really no one there for her to have stability. And that her time with the swing kids was her only feeling of normalcy, family and friends. And she used that as a platform to get her through those tough times. And she wound up graduating from nursing school at U of A. And it was amazing to think that a kid who I was picking up at Whataburgers and Jack in the Boxes throughout the valley was living in a group home and had no place to go, and I had no idea until later on what this program meant to her. So I thought that was pretty special. So every kid who joins for whatever reason they feel, and that's something that we find out later on, and it's kind of the special thing about the program because it's for everybody. When I think about my favorite memories with the swing kids, it's kind of hard to sort them out because there's so many moments that I can remember. But what I do remember is something that it's something that some of the older swing kids will remember, is I remember having a dream that involved music, and I found myself kind of looking into a big auditorium. And on that auditorium was a big dance floor with a big band playing. And I saw just hundreds of young people out there dancing. And I remember when I looked on the floor and I saw all of them connecting, having a good time, dancing to big band music, that there was like another curtain across the way that opened up. And I remember as I was looking, and it all seems so real when you're in your dream, it was a bunch of seniors. Many of them in wheelchairs, walkers, or whatever. And they were looking at the kids too. And then I remember that they made eye contact with me, smiled, then their curtain closed. Over the years, I think about the comments that are made by the people that are at the shows. And we did a show at the Beatitudes a few years back when one of the seniors came up to me afterwards, and she commented on how much she loved the program, the kids, the music, but what was more important to her was how she had been at that senior home for 6 months at that point and had never heard the voices of the people that she lives with, because most of them had nothing to say or do anymore. And when the swing kids were there, they were singing, they were dancing and laughing, and that was a part of life that she had missed. So I think about things like that, and that's probably my overall best memory of this whole journey, is watching the spirit of people connect, different ages, and share something that they'll take with them. So as far as how the kids were able to get connected by the media outlets, the people in the valley started bringing the attention to the media, and before long whether they're at an event, whether they're at a senior home. Some of the news people wanted to find out more about the program, so we got news articles written by the news columnists in the Republic, and the next thing. So the amazing thing with the word of mouth is that we've never recruited swing kids. Other than the first time I checked with my friends at work with their kids, the power of the word of something neat and fun spreads. And as that started its journey and momentum, we started getting kids from everywhere who just came out, and before long we had a program that after 25 shows, after 50 shows, and so on, started making headway with a lot of the seniors and veterans, and they started putting out the word to the people in the news and so on that there's something special going on here. Well, before long we had opportunities. So about the connection the swing kids have had with the local media, just through the word of mouth, the effort of the kids started reaching many people in various parts of the media, and it became an interesting story. Initially it was a novelty, and then as the time passed and people started seeing something that was really here to stay. From the first article that was written in 2000 at a school program that we did, through the most recent, which would be our current member, Ben Meyer, who won a national award for participation in a community service program that just happened to be the Swing Kids, and him and his family were sent to Washington, D.C., where they are currently at. Everywhere in between, just the message of what the kids and the people that are connected with the kids have done to make this possible has reached a lot of people because of the impact it's had on our senior community, on the veterans, and then on the kids themselves. I'd estimate we've probably been on TV or in the newspaper or on the radio close to 35 occasions now. And it's just interesting because as I look back, as the years have evolved, I'd rather have the kids be the ones that are the facilitators of those interviews, so they get a chance to talk to the media and they get a little excitement to be on TV. And as Ben's learning right now, meeting people in Washington, D.C. and so on, it's great to have kids be the ambassador for your program. My job is just to keep it going. And the way we keep it going is presenting an opportunity for the kids to do their thing, for the seniors to enjoy the kids, and when the day comes that we don't have any more kids to do it, then I guess the journey will end. But at this point, it seems like we're just as strong as ever with 806 shows and maybe a target of 1,000, who knows. But I'll go as long as the kids want to dance, and as long as there's seniors that want to see the kids, and frankly, I don't know that I've seen into that until my journey comes to an end, and then at that point, maybe somebody else will be there to take over the reins. And that'd probably be a former swing kid for all I know, and that would be great. So that's what the media and the work of the kids and the seniors in the Valley has allowed us to do, is just to continue on a program that was started off on an inspiration moment from a B-17 flying over to taking the hangar dance that I saw on that very same evening and bringing that back to the home front. And that's what the whole program's about, bringing it back. So the momentum of what the kids were doing in the Valley, that was different. The way kids find out about us when they do get word of mouth is we have a website. It's called ArizonaSwingKids.com. If you Googled Arizona Swing Kids, you would find us on Facebook, YouTube, and of course our website. Through our sites and through our electronic time, we've been able to send out videos to the kids that train them on the music, the dance, the lyrics. So every kid has a pretty easy access to get what they need in preparing for a show. Most kids who have joined the Swing Kids started the show without a practice and probably had 15 to 20 shows under their belts before they even made it to a practice. And by that point, they've absorbed so much from the other kids in the program, they're regular professional performers, no matter what age level. And that's really a neat thing about the program and how it's evolved. So those are the ways that people find out about us.
and the rest of it is what has always been, just the word of the mouth and the kids doing their thing, and kids from all walks of life, all schools around the valley doing the one thing that separates this little program from all the others, and that's going out and bringing a difference to thousands and thousands of people throughout the valley year round, and it's a lot of fun.